let us move to the next question. Now, this is a comparatively very easy question, right? Assertion and reason can be tricky question because uh, at times it is difficult to ascertain whether the reason is right, assertion is right, and what is the relation between assertion and reason. Uh, it is more subjective in nature, right? You can't be sure. It is basically about application of your mind. This is not about your clarity of facts, but rather clarity of concepts, right? How much you are able to integrate the ideas and its causation. This is something that is questioned in this particular question. Assertion and reason helps us to use your brain beyond the textbook type material and try to find causation, try to find linkages between historical events and its subjective factors. Right. Now, the very simple question as to say, the assertion is the colonial economic policy led to poverty and unemployment in India. Right. As we can see from the very outset that this assertion is very much correct, right? That colonial economic policy led to poverty and unemployment in India. True, there are multiple policies of Britishers which actually led to the demise of the handicraft industry, that led to the decline of the GDP of India, that actually led to a ruining of the larger markets of India, right? So unemployment because a lot of handicraft people, a lot of peasants, they became tenant farmers, or they become homeless, they become workless due to the very strong colonial policy. There were severe famines during the Britishers' time. Like, a lot of people lost their job because of the shift in the colonial policies, right? The revenue policy, the agrarian policies, the industrial policy, right? And there was severe attempt by the Britishers to acquire and appropriate the profit that are generated from India to be utilized in London, right? To in Britain, right? So a lot of corruption was involved in this process. So the reason is giving that it encouraged drain of wealth and deindustrialization in India. So deindustrialization and drain of wealth are seen as the possible causation, possible factors, possible reasons for the unemployment and poverty in India, right? So how is the drain of wealth and deindustrialization responsible for poverty and unemployment? Then answer is yes, right? Deindustrialization basically meant that the handicraft industry that was so vibrant uh, before the coming of the Britishers went into a decline, particularly because they cannot challenge the manufactured product that was prevalent in Britain. Secondly, the kind of economic privileges that the Britishers got due to their cunning policies and the political maneuvering, right? That actually, in a way, captivated the market, captured the market in a way that the handicraft industries cannot catch up to it, right? So deindustrialization is a theory that has been talked about by many scholars to various extent, that how uh, deindustrialization led to the demise of the cottage industries in India. Second thing is drain of wealth, which I must be I must think you must be knowing. Dadabhai Naoroji talked about the poverty and un-British rule in India, right? Wherein talk about the drain of basically how the resources of India were put into use in Britain, right? To pay off the home charges for different kind of financial institution, financial banking, right? A financial institution for funding a lot of different projects that will benefit the Britishers. Even people who were working for things like railways, they were they were provided very cheap loans, they were provided financial amenities, right? And all of this will be paid from the coffers of the Indian state. Even the war causes of India, of Britain, were funded by the Indian money, right? So it actually led to a decline in the financial fortunes of the Indian subcontinent, right? And by the time India reached its independence, India was largely highly financially ruined by the economic policies of Britain, right? So the assertion and reason are perfectly in tandem with each other, and so we'll be considering that both assertion and reason are correct, and reason is the correct explanation of the assertion, right? This is a very comparatively simple answer, because you can basically make connection between deindustrialization and reign of wealth with that of unemployment and poverty.